in the 13.7 billion years ago, the first matter happened, that after certain reactions and creation of heavier elements, creating this particular condition, these particular elements, like oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, and carbon, will come together in this particular proportion, and in this particular order, will create DNA, like adenine, thymine, cytosine, and which one?
The other one.
Cytosine, I forgot, four of them. One. Yeah, and then these four bases will come together in particular order, boom, will act civility. Will create.
I want to make sure I understand your question, okay? Are you saying that at the beginning of the universe, it was predetermined that life would be here?
I don't say predetermined. Yeah, I could say that. This the conditions that will create life as an information started at that. Life in such a condition, which deterministically, in fact, universe expanded, and the galaxies, the position of the even stars, it started from the early wrinkles in the universe. Those wrinkles was from the beginning, the heterogeneous nature of the universe. Therefore, it was there.
The universe is 99% dead. Okay? 99+% dead. So you have to understand, you're getting this huge picture that we were somehow put here. But we're a very, very small speck in a huge universe that is mostly dead. So when you say that, oh, everything in this universe has to be perfect, that the laws that were created in the Big Bang, I don't like the word created, but the laws that govern the universe at the Big Bang were destined for us, well, you could say that they were destined for this universe.
Yes, destined for the universe, including this earth, including your intelligence, including we be here deterministically.
If you want to go to that level, then you eliminate free will.
Yeah, I have problem with free will.
Okay.
If I was atheist, I would have problem with free will. But again, let's leave free will argument out of this. So just these things to be here or anything. All these computer programs, all these books, all this information comes from Big Bang.
It is a tiny speck of nothing in this universe.
Doesn't matter. Your brain is tiny speck. The most marvelous things in this universe.
According to us.
Huh?
According to you.
Yes.
According to us.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean
Isn't the science, at least so far, we haven't found more marvelous than you. At least on this planet Earth, in the solar system, your brain is the most marvelous things. But your brain structure, what created that from the atoms, the laws in the atoms, the characteristics of atoms and molecules, those laws existed before. That means certain combination.
Yes.
When come together, boom, intelligence must emerge.
So you're actually talking about like gravitational constants. You're actually talking about the weight of the atoms. You're actually talking about of the weights and the constants in the universe.
Chemical and physical characteristics.
And like I said, you're going back to where you were before. You don't know, so you're ascribing an intelligence to it. No, I don't accept that.
Well, here it is. You say, I'm saying, I know the evolution, and I have no problem with evolution, by the way. In fact,
I can tell.
We have book here. I would like to suggest you to read this book. This is
Muhammad.
Islamic Theory of Evolution by Dr. Shanawaz. This is, in fact, shows that before Darwin, centuries before, Muslim scholars like Ibn Sina, Avicenna, have you heard about him? Abu Rushd, Ibn Khaldun, philosopher, sociologist, or Ibn Haytham. These philosophers and scientists, they all promoted the idea of evolution. In fact, they started from inanimate objects. And in fact, there is confession of Western philosopher, contemporary of Darwin, that this did not start from Darwin. Muslims, in fact, Darwin in his time was accused to become following barbarian Mohammedans by Christians. Very interesting. But now Muslims ignore these scientists because they follow Christians. They went backward. And then here we have, and also Western world, it seems not really honest in conveying the information about the history of discussion on evolution.
I know that happens.
Very interesting. Now, I have no problem with evolution. But evolution, through evolution assembly line, things happened. let's say a product. This TV came about at the end of the assembly line.
Yes.
And you go, let's say, a big factory.
Yeah.
You and a religious person enter the factory, and you see assembly line, how start from raw material, the molded, the aluminum and other iron and molded, and plastic is molded, and later pieces fabricated and put together with robots and stuff, at the end assembled as a TV or as a car and coming out. Yeah, if you say, well, I know what's happening here. I know what is next is happening. This is an evolutionary stage. This is a complete box. There is nothing outside of this. This is coming into happening. I know how I can explain. Though in the beginning I don't know, that's okay, I don't care. In the beginning how this material coming about, but I can explain every stage of this assembly line. Therefore there is no any engineers or designers of this. This is happening. I can explain it, how it's happening every stage, how the door is fixed there. Religious person, no, he says, well, this doesn't happen this way. There is no this assembly line. He denies basically the assembly line. He says these cars come out of just blues with parachute. I say this. I say this assembly line shows a particular designer of the assembly line. The very assembly line follows certain laws and uses certain material that is following laws. Let's not discuss the ontological existence of matter, how it came about.
But
the very laws, yeah, that's okay. I
hate the ontological arguments.
Yeah.
Give me a headache.
I'm not really referring to St. Augustine's argument, but anyway, I would say it's the very existence of matter. But the modus operandi of matter, how matter follows the laws, and that is designed. The laws and the thing that this assembly line is designed. I see the evolution the same way. If there was no laws, the evolution would not happen. Let's say, I'll give you an example. Though you will have a beef with this example, you should.
Okay.
Let's assume a big truck. We have marbles, different color, different shapes, and different sizes. Marbles. Mm-hmm. Thousands of marbles. Let's say 1 million of marbles.
Okay.
And then we have big stadium. We bring this truck and dump all these marbles on the floor of this stadium.
Okay.
And then they mix with each other. They create different patterns. And then we put back to the truck in fraction of a second, dump it, just thought process, okay?
Uh-huh.
And then for 1 million years, we dump these marbles, made of silicon or made of glass, okay? But assume that this glass is not interacting with each other, correct? Mm-hmm. Just simple glass, no laws that make them to connect to each other. Do you think these marbles for millions of years, they will come together suddenly in one point, randomness, and they will create just come over each other, start sticking to each other, and then start moving and talking?
No.
No. Why? Because we say these marbles are simple marbles, and there is no kind of chemical interaction, information is not passing to each other, therefore it will not create. If atoms were like marbles, like physical structural marbles in room temperature, then we wouldn't have life, because life requires interaction, transformation of information. Therefore, what I say, life is immanent. Immanent. Do you know this word?
Yes.
Immanent in the first material, in the first second of universe, because those laws gave birth to hydrogen atom, and later the same law created, the same information created helium and carbon and iron and all other elements. And the laws also governed how molecules come together, create different functions, show certain different qualities.
Okay.
And therefore,
so I think you're a little bit
Okay.
a little bit around here.
Okay.
I think what you're saying is that at the Big Bang, eventual life was almost predetermined,
mm-hmm.
because we have an almost infinite period of time, and you have an almost infinite amount of matter, and you have the correct laws to create life. This would imply life is scattered around the universe.
I think you are not, I'm not able to convey, maybe because English is chronologically my fifth language. Fifth, yes. Dave, the reason I'm saying to this, life, the creation of, or emergence of first cell, why these particular things, when come together, act this way? We observe it, we say, wow, this life came about, now you're living cell. Why matter come together, act this way? That was determined in the beginning. Therefore, living cell is not kind of random. It is within the law. If law was a little bit different, life would not happen.
Yeah, but we already discussed that.
Yeah, in the beginning. Therefore, in the beginning, there is all the information that creates this. If you think deterministic, which science is deterministic, unless you go down the center of the atom.
Unless you go quantum.
In quantum. But what governs the universe really, stars and cells and stuff, is deterministic. Therefore, your brain was determined to have, you have as a brain since the beginning. Therefore, intelligence is not through random evolution. It was determined step by step that after 13.7 billion years ago, in one corner, that Earth also was determined since the beginning, first explosion. And then you will come about.
So you're talking about the predictability of physics in the
and
universe.
Yes,
you're
all
talking
this,
about that given every variable, given every circumstance, given all the knowledge of all the possibilities, that we could have predicted this conversation 13.7
if you knew everything. Yes, here it is.
Okay,
this
so there is, yeah, so that goes back to the whole free will thing, that, and I get that, you don't want to discuss that right now, but I think there's a real set of fundamental flaws in your logic.
Beautiful, I would like to hear.
Okay, so you went to an assembly line, okay, and the assembly line starts at this and ends at this. That's not the case, okay? What happens is the universe is not an assembly line. It's random. It's just a mishmash of.
Are you serious? You say random?
Well,
I thought science says deterministic law. Random means what? Is there random really in the universe, do you think?
Okay, I can give you that.
Well,
okay, I can give you that.
Yeah.
I can give you that. Okay. I can give you that. So if you want to say, if you want to go to that level, no, maybe there is nothing random, unless you actually get to the quantum level.
Okay.
And when you get to the quantum level,
we're not talking about quantum.
Well, you have to, because you have to have quantum, because quantum is part of the continuation of physics. Okay, it's not just Newtonian. There's quantum physics in there, and that's there. Okay, and we don't know about it. We don't know much about it, but we know it's there, and we know it has an effect. Okay, and we can see its effect. But you're talking about, you mentioned a factory. You know, it starts with the raw materials and ends up with cars. But what if you have a factory that starts with raw materials and ends up with 99% junk?
Beautiful, yeah.
And then, after a very long time, a car comes out. But it's not just a car that comes out. A car doesn't come out for random reasons.
Let me tell you something.
Good to go.
When we say junk, it's not junk. Even SHIT is not junk. It is incredible design structure there. If you study that, you will see there is atoms, the same atoms that you eat or in your body.
I have a fundamental problem with you using the word design.
Yeah.
I have a fundamental problem with you using the word create.
Isn't atom a great construction design?
I have a fundamental problem with design and construction. We're talking about physics here.
Yeah.
Okay. We're talking about, you know, the chain reaction.